So, what if the secret to crushing it in the modern boardroom wasn't in some business textbook, but in the teachings of an ancient yogi? It sounds a little out there, right? But that's exactly what we're diving into today. The Corporate Yogi, a leadership model that's using timeless wisdom to solve some of today's biggest business challenges.
I mean, it's a fair question. What can a philosophy that's literally thousands of years old offer a CEO who's juggling quarterly earnings and global supply chains? Well, it turns out the answer is a pretty significant competitive advantage.
And look, this is not some fringe idea. Some of the most innovative companies on the entire planet are building these principles right into their culture. So, what do they know that the rest of us don't? Let's break it down into 3 really powerful concepts.
First up, let's talk about the most visible part of leadership, your actions. This is all about getting that, as a leader, you are always setting the standard, whether you mean to or not.
We've all been there, right? You see a disengaged, unmotivated team. But here's the thing. The problem often isn't the team, it's the leader. An organization is basically just a giant mirror, and it's always reflecting the person in charge.
This simple little story just illustrates the point perfectly. Look at this sequence. A leader sees some trash and just picks it up, acts. And what happens? The team immediately follows. But watch what happens when the leader stops. Instantly, the whole team stops too. The standard for how we do things around here was just completely reset, and not a single word was ever spoken.
And you know, this isn't some new age management theory. The Bhagavad Gita nailed this thousands of years ago. The takeaway is crystal clear. Your culture isn't what you say, it's what you do. A diligent leader, they create a thriving organization. A lazy one, they create decay. At the end of the day, you are the benchmark.
Okay, so if our external actions are that important, what's driving them? Well, that takes us to our second point, our internal world. We're going to shift from a leader's actions to the actual quality of their thoughts.
For so many leaders, this is the reality inside their head, just a constant mental scribble of stress, worries, and that never-ending to-do list. This kind of chaos, it leads to decision fatigue, clouded judgment, and a ton of ego-driven mistakes. You just can't solve complex problems when your mind is cluttered. So, the yogic solution is a practice called dhyana yoga, but in the corporate world, it's basically been rebranded as mindfulness in management. It's the exact same idea, the practice of cultivating a mind that's clear, focused, and totally present.
And this isn't just about, feeling a little less stressed. It has a real, measurable impact. Which brings us to this number, 23%. So what does that even represent?
That number right there, it represents a quantifiable result. Companies that have put mindfulness programs in place have reported, on average, a 23% improvement in leadership quality. That's huge.
So how does that even work? Well, it's not magic, it's actually neuroscience. By clearing out that mental scribble, you're basically reducing your cognitive load. And that frees up mental bandwidth, which lets you see patterns better and think more creatively and strategically. A mindful leader doesn't just make faster decisions, they make better ones.
All right, finally, let's talk about sustainability. Because being a high performer is great, but it's totally useless if it just leads to burnout. This brings us to the anti-burnout formula.
The real driver of burnout isn't just working hard. It's having a misaligned focus. It's what happens when we become completely obsessed with the outcome, the promotion, the bonus, the finish line, and we totally lose touch with the work itself.
This visual just says it all. On the left, you've got the leader whose eyes are glued to the reward, not the path in front of them, and whoops, they inevitably trip. But on the right, the leader ignores the coin, focuses 100% on the process, on pushing that rock with skill. The result isn't just success, it's success with this feeling of ease, of flow.
This whole principle has a name. It's called nishkama karma. It's really the art of doing your work with absolute excellence just for the sake of the work itself, without being all anxiously attached to the fruits of your labor. That mindset shift is the absolute key to preventing exhaustion and reaching a way higher level of mastery.
And that brings us to maybe the ultimate redefinition of this ancient practice for our modern world. This quote from the Gita says it all. Yoga isn't just about bending into pretzels. It's a state of being. It is skill in action, that perfect state of flow where you're so immersed in the process that excellence just feels effortless.
So let's bring it all home, leading by example, cultivating a clear mind, and focusing on the process, not the prize. You see, these aren't just abstract philosophies. They are real, practical tools for incredibly powerful leadership.
So the final question isn't just for some CEO, it's for you. Your work is your path. The question is, are you walking it with skill?